say something's been happening with the 1,200 gallon build. And I'm pretty sure you'll notice something different about the new Predator Bay 3000. As well as the 1,000 gallon Marine Mangrove Estuary tank. Well, as you can see by the sweat and probably the lights behind me, I've been putting in some sweat equity into the builds, and we got a lot of progress. We got a mega build that's getting ready to come online very soon. So rather than talk about it, let me show you. Okay, we're inside the 3,000 gallon. So not only do we have the lights to do, we're gonna remove all of these lights here, and I have some new strip lights, which are gonna be a better color temperature for salt water. We're gonna remove some pumps that aren't gonna be used in the saltwater tank. We're actually gonna use a closed loop water movement system. So these are the returns going all the way down, and those will all stay. But for internal water flow, we're gonna do the closed loop system. Of course, we're gonna remove this over the top drain here. We're gonna repurpose the plumbing for this over to the marine estuary. And for anyone who's been around with the channel for a long time, you know that I did have a little failure up here, a little leak. And I had to do a fix when the system was running. So I had to lower the water down. And it was a tiny little problem with the fiberglassing that up here, and I put this huge patch on it, but you can see part of the patch is peeled up. So even though the leak is here, it's still completely sealed. I don't like that, seeing that. So I'm going to trim up what's there. I'm going to clean it up and sand it down, put another fiberglass patch on it, and then when I'm doing the epoxy coating on the marine estuary, I'll go ahead and paint over the new patch as well. So it has a double patch from when I had the original leak. Keeping in mind, the original leak was this tiny little spot right here, and I did this giant patch, so we're just going to overkill it. I mean, the tank's empty, hopefully that's never the case again, so it seems like the perfect time to do it. Let's go ahead and roll 20 feet down to that side of the tank, and let me show you what we got going on down there. Okay, another pump that I'm going to take off of here and use on one of the new tanks in the Annex. And that brings us all the way down to the far end here. So you can see the two drains that we added after the tank was running, and we used to have a over-the-top drain over here as well on the side. So that's been removed, and to make up for the water flow so that we have 4 drains, I'm going to be adding 2 more drains right here, which will go straight down into the sump below. So I'm going to get started with these bulkheads and drains, and getting the other side cleaned up for the fix to the patch that's there. Alright, turns out it wasn't getting my butt in here that's the hard part, it was my shoulders. So when I bend down, and yeah, my shoulders are a lot wider than my waist, so it's pretty tight. But I went sideways, and I got down in there, and between the Dremel here and the scraper, I got all of that bubble off of there, so you can see a little bit of the stuff on the ground there. So I'm just going to get it all vacuumed out, get it cleaned up, and it's time to put final fiberglass on it. And there's no two ways about it. As deep as this filter box is, it's as always, it's better to not have a mistake and get it right the first time. So you can bet sure I'll only be building it halfway on this guy over here and getting that bottom part all fiberglassed before I build it all the way up, because that was a chore. So this is a really exciting point of any build, which is painting on the pond shield, because that means you're getting close. But first thing we have to do is take the old vac here and vac out all the stuff from sanding and everything like that, and all the extra like a little bit of fiberglass we chipped off, and again the sanding over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this out, and yeah, we'll start doing some pond shield. Alright, it is time to get the patch on that last little spot there in the filter box and get that cleaned out. We got the fiberglass all cut, ready to go, and the reason we need to fast track that is, oh yeah, we've already started doing the pond shield. This is definitely an awesome time to build when you get the pond shield on there. That lets you know you're really close, and I know it's close because I have an appointment to pick up the glass from the freight place next week, so whew, looking forward to it. Not looking forward to picking up that 988-pound crate, but I mean, I know they'll have a forklift, but on my side. That's going to be a lot of glass to move. Oh, first coat, looking really good. Now let's go check on the Mangrove Estuary. Let's go over and take a look at the new Predator Bay Marine Estuary mega project over there. We got a lot going on, and as you see here, I've rigged up a new thing for the shark eggs. They're up there out of the way, and there's a conspiracy theory going around on the internet that I put this paper on here because I kept walking into this thing sticking out, and that's why I have this red mark on my cheek. But I just want to say that those are all lies and conspiracy theories. I would never walk into that multiple times before wising up and putting a piece of paper on it. That never happened. Alright, where do we start? As you can see, we've got just an absolute ton of salt. I can't wait to get this thing going just so I can get all the salt into the tank and free up the space. But I'll tell you what, let's go around back, we'll check out the estuary, and then we'll hop inside the 3,000 gallon and I'll show you the modifications we're going to make there. Okay, so for the Mangrove Estuary, I've gone ahead and I've cut all this fiberglass. So this stuff here is to do this little top lip area, which actually the water doesn't come all the way up there, but it's one of those things where I'm here, I fiberglass everything else, just fiberglass the whole thing, don't worry about it. So I'm going to fiberglass that all the way down. You see here we have the fiberglass cut for this one middle area here. So that is obviously exposed to a lot of water, so we'll get a few coats of fiberglass on that. And then all the way down at the end, we have a transition from where we have the plywood to the framing. So we'll get a couple coats of fiberglass on that, and then this guy will be ready for pond shield. And I actually had to, or pond shield's the right way. I always say pond armor, but it's pond shield. They changed it on me. It used to be pond armor for a long time back in the day. So at any rate, I had to order some more pond shield because I have enough for the top coat of this, but I don't think I have enough for the undercoats of the pond shield, because this truly is a really wide tank. I mean, I know it looks narrow, but it's, you know, it's 26 inches here, and it's like 22 inches in the what appears the more narrow part there. So, and it's really long, over 20 feet long, and over 4 feet tall. So it's a lot of paint. It's going to eat up a lot of pond shield, and I don't want to skimp. So that'll be here actually ready for me to be using it in the weekend, which is where I get a lot of my work done. So we're all good to go there. And as you already saw on the first 1,200 gallon, we got that first coat of pond shield. So I am definitely doing everything I can to try to get all these guys ready to go for glass installation once the glass arrives. At time of this filming, the glass will be here in 7 days. And of course, speaking of painting, we're going to have to delay that a day. For you guys, it won't change, but for me, it's kind of the pain in the butt when Amazon Prime 1 day and 2 day doesn't show up even on the 3rd day. So a little frustrating, but according to the updated delivery schedule, it should be here tomorrow. So we'll see. But luckily, I got other stuff to work on, and in fact, let's go take a look at that now. Let's take a look inside the 3,000 gallon, and I'll show you the next steps. All right, you can see the Dremel, so you know that means it's time to clean up the edges on the fiberglass. You know, like this trim here, and you know, this kind of stuff right there. Probably some more. Oh yeah, here's one right here. Yeah, get that all trimmed off, and we'll get the sander. But the good news is all of the fiberglass work is done 100%. We got that seam done. We've got the up part here. You can see all along the length, we got the whole top fiberglass, and we got that middle part right there, that middle part, all the way fiberglass all the way up. So we are good to go. It is time to trim and sand, and then time to paint. I want to get a little more video of the Malawi River Aquarium before everything gets changed. You can see how saturated with fish this is now. I mean, this started off with, let's see, 9, 11... 14 fish, including the Turkana jewels that I got from my buddy. So there's 4 generations of fish in here now, and this is the true, you know, my version of a father fish aquarium. We got the deep substrate there, not dirt, but deep substrate. But it's all plants, no water changes. This beast has been, you know, cranking along, absolute cruise control of a tank. I love it. But we all know I made a bad decision with a cheap sump liner, and I'm paying the price. But what I want to talk about here is I'm going to change things up a little bit. So the 12-foot long Zen Aquarium, which is in the Annex over there, which was what I was going to build that, I'm actually going to convert this to that Zen Aquarium. So it will be smaller, but it's going to solve a lot of problems for me. It's going to allow me to keep this jungle going with all of that up there, all of these vines down in the tank, and really just a super healthy ecosystem. And it's going to give me a place, now I'm going to cut out all that pothos, but buried in there are a bunch of peace lilies. It's going to give me a place to move those peace lilies so I can keep everything here rocking and rolling, and then I'll be adding, you know, the very small fish and shrimp and everything to this aquarium, which is right next to my desk over here. So that is going to be an ideal situation, and there will be no sump at all. There'll be no overflow box, and when I have the water down, I'll actually be able to move the tank closer to the wall because this is a walkway in between my desk and the tank. It's 38 inches. I like to get it out to like 40 would be nice. And I have an overflow box on the back right over there, so I'll be able to save a few inches over there. So the plan is to have this tank be completely filtered by plants, like it is now, but it does have a sump, but technically all that sump really has is a settling chamber, plants, and a return pump. So the only thing that's going to change is all the plants will be up in the aquarium, which, you know, more than half of them already are. We'll just be adding the peace lilies in there, and with the small fish there will be no filter other than the plants and water movement. So it's going to be a fun tank. It's going to allow me to keep this whole ecosystem running and going well. These guys, all the African cichlids, are going to be going into the 750 gallons. So they're going from a 125 to a 750, and of course they're going to be getting new friends. So they're going to go from a Malawi River to a Malawi Lake aquarium. So that's going to be awesome. It's going to be better for these guys. It's going to be lit differently. This is sort of that jungle style filter lighting, which I like. But you know, these are lake fish. Let's get these guys under some bright lights. Let's let them really show off their colors. So that'll be good all the way around. And the last thing I just want to say is, because I am going to be adding the peace lilies from the sump up into the tank, it'll make sense once you see the new scape, but they will be growing out of the top. So I can't really raise up the Kessels any further than they are, especially that one over there. And they're a good distance for that. But what I'm going to do is add a couple supplemental lights up top so we can have even more emergent growth plants coming out of the aquarium. So I am really looking forward to this one. This is going to be a fun one. Okay, so there's the patched area of the filter box. That's ready to go. Pretty much just need to vacuum out the bottom of this, get it cleaned up a little bit, and it'll be time to go ahead and pond shield the filter box. So what I'm going to do is I will do the second coat on the tank and the filter box all at one time. Alright guys, this is going to be one of the last feedings in the old Predator Bay because the new one is coming along quick. Let's get you guys some smelt. And it should take about, 2 seconds, and they're on it. This is actually their second helping. They went through the first one so fast, figured I'd hit them up with one more. Got the grouper eyeballing a piece. Not sure he wants to commit. He's already had 2, so I'm a little surprised. Hey, you finally figured it out. There you go. Okay, well, while these guys are eating, let me let me show you how many eggs we have. So my new contraption is to suspend the eggs up here in the crate with a little bit of live rock, and this seems to be working a lot better. It keeps those guys down there from knocking into it, and obviously no more eggs have been eaten, and no more big sharks have knocked over things. So there we go. We got, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 eggs. Ay, ay, ay. Definitely got to get the marine estuary built fast. And also, the problem I run into is because they knocked over everything else I had before, all the eggs are mixed together. So I don't know which egg is which as far as where they're going to hatch. Now, some are a lot bigger than others, so that's about the only thing I have to go with is the size. So it's going to be interesting, but see how it goes. So I want to talk about something I got going on with the Disc Aquarium, not with the fish itself, but down here with the filtration. We know we added on the sediment filter, and it has been working wonders. I pumped it out once. It had a bunch of gunk down there. We used the biomedia to keep everything in there. It overflows into the sump, and it's working awesome. And I want to replicate this on other tanks, but we know that it bows out from the water pressure. But here, it's wedged in between the stand and the filter box here, so I'm not always going to have that situation. So I want to add this to the 750, and let me show you what I'm testing out right now as an improvement to keep the Rubbermaid container from bowing out. So here's another one of those containers, and I like these because they're perfect for the job. They don't take up a lot of space. They're great. They're tall and thin. They're awesome for plumbing because it's easy to cut in and add bulkheads to them or add it to existing plumbing. So like here on the 750, what I want to do is cut the drains, have the drains go into the sediment filter here. So if we imagine if we comes up here, so the drains will come out, over, and down, and then I would add bulkheads to the front and then connect into the sump from there, from the front of the filter. And it fits up nice and snug, doesn't take up a lot of room, but obviously there's the potential of it bowing out. So what I've done is I got a package of these ratchet straps. This was $8. So each one's 400 or 500 pounds, and I've strapped it onto the filter. So what I'm going to do is take all four, and I'm going to strap this thing all the way up to hold it tight, and I'm going to go ahead and fill it full of water all the way to the top, which is more than it would ever have, and just let it sit and see. So we'll see if this is a solution to keep this thing from bowing out, but also not taking up a lot of space, because originally I was thinking about building some sort of wood structure around it to hold it together, but that'd take up a lot of space, and I'd rather have that nice and tight up against the tank there, and then just build a facade around it just for appearance purposes, but have this be nice and tight, and then of course integrated into that plumbing. So we got a couple things going on, and you know I'm excited for Predator Bay 3000, the marine estuary build, and judging by the poll results, you guys are as well. But of course, we got a few other things going on. There's a couple 1,200 gallon builds, redoing the 125, redoing the 750, adding the new filtration, to the sediment filtration, and I don't know, a dozen baby sharks. But other than that, not a whole lot going on, but I still think you should check back soon, because the mega project is going to be moving quick, and you know, actually I think a lot of those other projects are moving pretty quick too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.